My girlfriend texted, "Your friend is hotter than you." I replied, "If you are happy, I am happy." Then I set them up on a date. She was livid when we both dumped her within the next 10 minutes. 28 male, I'm still sort of processing the whole thing, but honestly, the main feeling is quiet, like the house after a storm. It all started 3 days ago on a Tuesday. I was at my desk minding my own business when my phone buzzed. It was my girlfriend of 4 years, Ashley, 27. The text was one of those things you read 3 times to make sure it's real. We've been having a running joke about my best friend Steven, 28. He's one of those effortlessly cool guys, a bit of a handsome rogue, while I'm more the steady, reliable type. Ashley had been teasing me for weeks, saying she was going to leave me for him. Harmless fun, I thought. Apparently not. The text message read, "Ashley, Steven is just so much hotter than you, Taba. It's not even close." I stared at the screen. The joke had suddenly lost its punchline. There was a weird, stinging quality to it. This wasn't playful banter. It felt like a genuine, casual jab meant to wound. And it did. For about 60 seconds, I felt the usual cocktail of hurt and anger. Then something else clicked into place. A strange, cold calm. I wasn't going to have a screaming match. I wasn't going to demand an explanation. She had laid her cards on the table, and they were ugly. "Okay?" I typed back my reply, "Me, if you are happy, I am happy." Her response was almost immediate. "Wait, really?" "Yeah, of course. Life's too short to not be with someone who makes you happy. You should ask him out." "OMG, are you serious? I thought you'd be mad." "Why would I be mad? I just want you to be happy." This, I've learned, is the most disarming thing you can say to someone who is trying to get a rise out of you. She didn't know what to do with it. She wanted a fight, a reaction, drama. I gave her permission. Then I called Steven. "Hey man," I said, my voice even. "Quick question, are you sitting down?" Yeah," he said. "What's up? You sound weird." I read him the texts. There was a long silence on his end. "Paul, what the hell?" he finally said. "I'm gonna kill her. That's messed up." "Nope," I said. "We're not doing that. I have a better idea. She wants to go out with you. I told her she should ask." "You did what?" "Dude, no. Absolutely not. That's insane." "Hear me out," I said, and I laid out the plan. It was simple, it was clean, and it required him to play a role. To his credit, after about 30 seconds of horrified protest, a new tone crept into his voice. A tone of righteous mischief. "So I'd be doing this for you?" he asked. "For the sake of justice," I said. "And for every person who's ever been casually gut-punched by a text message." "Okay," he said, a grin evident in his voice. "I'm in. Let's burn this down." An hour later, Ashley called me. "Giddy, you are not gonna believe this," she chirped. "He said yes, we're going to that new Italian place downtown on Friday. Can you believe it?" "That's amazing, Ashley," I said, my voice a perfect replica of supportive boyfriend monotone. "I'm really happy for you." "Aren't you even a little bit upset?" she asked, a hint of disappointment in her voice. "My happiness is tied to yours," I said serenely. "Have fun." For the next 2 days, she was a whirlwind of texts and calls, showing me outfits, asking if she should wear her hair up or down. It was a masterclass in audacity. She was asking her boyfriend for dating advice for a date with his best friend. The whole time, I was a placid lake of encouragement. Inside, I was building a dam. Friday night came. Steven sent me a text, "Showtime." I replied, "Break a leg," but not hers. At 9:30 p.m., exactly when I knew their main courses would be cleared, I got a text from Steven. "Call my phone in 2 minutes. Put on your game face." I waited precisely 120 seconds and dialed. He answered on the first ring, the phone already on speaker. "Hey Paul, what's up?" Steven said, his voice casual. "Hey man, just checking in. How's the date going?" I asked. I could hear Ashley giggle. "It's going amazing, Paul. Steven is even funnier in person." "That's great," I said. Then my tone shifted, just a little. "Hey Steven, can I ask you a question?" "Shoot." "Based on the last 2 hours, do you think you and Ashley have a future together?" There was a pause. I could picture the scene perfectly. Ashley leaning forward, beaming. Steven looking right at her. "Nah," Steven said, his voice flat. "No future at all." Ashley's giggle died in her throat. "What? What do you mean?" "I mean, what kind of person actively tries to date their boyfriend's best friend after sending a text to put him down?" Steven asked, his voice laced with disgust. "What kind of person not only does that, but then flaunts it to him for 2 days straight? It's a seriously trashy move, Ashley. I'm not interested." The silence was deafening. I could hear Ashley stammering. "What? But Paul said he was fine with it. He set this up. Yeah, I know he did, Stephen said, because he wanted you to show your true colors. And you did. Spectacularly. So yeah, we're done here. I'm gonna go pay the bill. Have a nice life. Then it was my turn. Paul? Ashley's voice was a shaky whisper. What is going on? I believe Stephen made it perfectly clear, I said calmly. He thinks you're a trashy person, and frankly I agree. Your text on Tuesday wasn't a joke, it was a character reference. So we're breaking up. Please don't contact me again. You can't break up with me, she shrieked, her voice rising in panic and fury. I break up with you. That doesn't really work when you've already been dumped twice in the span of 30 seconds, I replied. The waiter is coming with your check for one. Stephen paid for his half. Goodbye, Ashley. I hung up and blocked her number. Then I blocked her on every social media platform imaginable. Stephen sent me a text a few minutes later. Mic drop. She just sat there, staring at the tiramisu like it had personally offended her. I should have felt ecstatic, vindicated, and part of me did. But as I sat there in the quiet of my apartment, the silence felt loud. It was the sound of a 4-year relationship evaporating in under 10 minutes. It wasn't revenge, it was pest control. Update 1. Thanks for all the comments and DMs, folks. It's weirdly validating to know I'm not a complete sociopath. Aita? Maybe a little, but I'm sleeping pretty well. The week since the dumping has been illuminating. Ashley's strategy, it seems, has shifted from entitled glee to full-blown victimhood, and I am apparently the villain in her tragic opera. The day after the smear campaign began, I woke up to about a dozen texts from mutual friends. Dude, what did you do to Ashley? Ashley is a mess, said you played some twisted game on her. Paul, she's telling everyone you're a manipulative psycho. What's going on? Apparently, her version of the story is that I, consumed by a jealous rage over her innocent crush on Stephen, devised a cruel test to embarrass her. She'd been crying all night, completely devastated by my emotional manipulation. I didn't reply to any of them. Instead, I waited until the group chat was buzzing. Then, I dropped a single screenshot into the conversation, the one that started it all. Ashley, Stephen is just so much hotter than you, Baha. It's not even close. I added one line of text beneath it. Me. This is what I was working with, guys. She wanted a date with him. I made it happen. You can draw your own conclusions. Silence. Sweet, beautiful silence. About an hour later, Stephen chimed in. Can confirm. The date was her idea. My dumping her was mine. The narrative shifted pretty quickly after that. My phone started buzzing again, but this time with messages of apology and support. Now for the logistical nightmare. Ashley and I live together, in my apartment. Her name isn't on the lease. For the past week, she's been staying with her friend, Kimberly. The problem is most of her worldly possessions are still in my living room. After 3 days of radio silence, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Kimberly. Ashley needs to get her stuff. When can she come over? Me. She can come anytime Saturday. My sister Emily will be here to let her in. Why does your sister need to be there? She wants to come when you're there to talk this out. Me. A third-party witness feels appropriate, and there's nothing to talk about. The time for talking ended when she decided to rank my friends by hotness. The response was a string of angry emojis. So Saturday arrived. I made myself scarce, went for a long drive. Emily, my sister, is a paralegal and has a spine made of tungsten. She was the perfect choice. Before I left, I did something I knew would be necessary. I went through the apartment with my phone, taking a time-stamped video of every room, paying special attention to the things I knew Ashley would claim were priceless artifacts. This included a ridiculously overpriced, bright yellow designer floor lamp she'd begged me for last Christmas. It was her pride and joy. It was also paid for by my credit card, a detail I had a feeling might become important. Emily told me the pickup was a scene. Ashley and Kimberly arrived, and Ashley immediately started crying, telling Emily how I'd broken her heart. Emily just held up a clipboard with a checklist of items. Just point to the boxes you're taking and I'll mark them off, Emily said, completely unfazed. They loaded up her clothes, her books, her collection of 1,000 decorative pillows. Then came the moment I was waiting for. Where's my lamp? Ashley demanded, her tears magically gone. Which lamp? Emily asked innocently. My yellow lamp, the one Paul bought me. It's gone. He stole it. Emily just looked at her. I don't see a lamp on this list of items you sent, Paul, but I'll be sure to pass along your concern. I got a text from Ashley a few hours later, from Kimberly's phone again. Ashley, via Kimberly, "Give me my lamp back, you thief. I can't believe you'd stoop this low. I'll call the police." I replied to the email thread I had started with her, CCing my sister. Subject: regarding your belongings, Ashley, I see you've collected your things. Regarding the yellow floor lamp, I've attached a digital copy of the receipt from December of last year showing the purchase was made on my Visa card. It was a gift, and I'm afraid the policy on revoked gifts is a bit of a gray area. But since you're accusing me of theft, I think it's best we stick to the letter of the law here. Consider the gift officially rescinded. However, I'm not an unreasonable man. You are welcome to purchase it from me for the original price of $475. Let me know if you'd like my Venmo. All the best, Paul. The silence from her end has been glorious. While I was packing some of her remaining junk into boxes, though, I found a photo booth strip from our second anniversary. Both of us are laughing, looking young and stupid and genuinely happy. It hit me then, a quick, sharp pang of sadness for the guy in that photo. He really thought he had it all figured out. I tossed it in the trash with the rest of it. That guy is gone. He had to be. Update 2. Hello again, internet strangers. It's been about 3 weeks since the last update, and the Ashley saga has entered its bureaucratic phase. Turns out, when emotional manipulation fails, the next step is apparently nuisance paperwork. So, the lamp. After my email, Ashley went quiet for a week. I assumed she'd given up. I was wrong. Instead of paying me or dropping it, she chose door number 3, pure, unadulterated spite. I got a call from a police officer. A very, very tired-sounding police officer. "Sir, we've received a complaint from a Miss Ashley Benson regarding a stolen lamp." I explained the situation calmly, that it was a gift I had purchased and later rescinded after a bad breakup and an accusation of theft. I emailed him the receipt while we were on the phone. There was a long sigh on the other end of the line. "Sir, this is a civil matter, not a criminal one. We won't be pursuing this. I would advise you both to stop wasting police resources on your breakup drama." He sounded like he'd rather be directing traffic in a blizzard. Click. I thought that would be the end of it. It was not. The following week, I received a formal-looking letter. Ashley was taking me to small claims court for the value of the lamp. The sheer audacity was almost impressive. She didn't want the lamp, she wanted my money and my time. This brings me to the second issue, the final month's bills. We split everything 50-50. I'd sent her polite emails with PDF copies of the final utility bills and her half of the rent for the month. She was technically still living with me. Total owed $650. She ignored them. Completely. After sending a final reminder that went unanswered, I paid everything in full to make sure my credit wasn't affected. This is where things get fun. My sister, the paralegal goddess, helped me draft a response. Not only did we have the receipt for the lamp, but we also had the text messages where she accused me of stealing it after I had already offered to let her buy it. And for the small claims court, I filed a counterclaim for exactly $650 plus the court filing fee for her unpaid share of the final month's expenses. Suddenly, her little power play wasn't just about a lamp anymore. It was about her outstanding debt. The social fallout has been equally entertaining. Stephen, my loyal co-conspirator, has become the unwilling recipient of Ashley's late-night DMs. They are a roller coaster of emotion. One night it's, "I miss you. I think we really had a spark." The next it's, "You're a backstabbing snake just like him." Stephen, bless his heart, has been screenshotting everything and sending them to a folder we've lovingly titled The Ashley Chronicles. It's a treasure trove of irrationality that Miss Cole, our small claims court judge, might find illuminating. Her best friend Kimberly, who had been her loyal soldier, apparently got tired of the constant drama. I heard through the grapevine that Ashley had become a permanent fixture on her couch, not contributing to rent or groceries, and spending all day complaining about how unfair her life was. Kimberly finally kicked her out. Ashley is now living with her parents. The best part was the call I got last night. It was from Ashley's dad. "Paul, son, it's Donald Benson," he said, his voice trying way too hard to be friendly. "Listen, I hear there's been some misunderstanding about a lamp." "Hello, Mr. Benson," I said politely. "I think Ashley has the paperwork. It's fairly straightforward." Right. Look, she's a good kid, just emotional. How about I send you a check for, say, $200 and we make this whole court thing go away? No need to get messy." I almost laughed. Mr. Benson, with all due respect, your daughter is suing me for a lamp she doesn't own. I'm countersuing her for $650 that she absolutely does owe. The time for negotiation was before she filed a lawsuit and a false police report. I'll see her in court. He started to bluster, but I cut him off. It's not about the money anymore, sir. It's about the principle. Have a good evening. I hung up. Steven says I'm his new hero. I don't feel like a hero. I just feel like a guy who is very, very tired of being underestimated. The court date is in 3 weeks. I've already got my outfit picked out. Final update. It's been about 6 months since the text. The divorce is finalized. Oh wait, that was another guy's story. My bad. My breakup is finalized. The drama, thankfully, is over. The silence in my apartment is no longer loud. It's just peaceful. Time for the final update. The court date was everything I hoped it would be, and more. I showed up in a nicely pressed shirt, my sister Emily by my side for moral support. I had a folder neatly organized with tabs, the text, the lamp receipt, unpaid bills, police report, and my personal favorite, the Ashley Chronicles, the DMs to Steven. Ashley arrived with her father. She was dressed like she was attending a funeral, all in black, and refused to make eye contact. Her dad looked like he'd rather be anywhere else on earth. When the judge called our case, Ashley's argument, presented by her father because she was too distraught, was that the lamp was a significant emotional gift and that I had stolen it out of malice. When it was my turn, I simply handed the judge my folder. Your Honor, I said. It all started with a text message, which you'll find under tab 1. The judge, a no-nonsense woman who looked like she'd seen it all, flipped to the tab. She read the text. Her eyebrows shot up. She looked at Ashley, then back at the paper. Then she flipped through the other tabs. She lingered on the DMs to Steven, and I saw the corner of her mouth twitch. She looked up. Miss Benson, you accused this man of theft, filed a police report for an item he has a receipt for, and are now suing him for its value. Ashley mumbled something. Speak up, the judge said. It was a gift, Ashley said, her voice cracking. He was being cruel. The judge leaned forward. It seems to me, Miss Benson, that you initiated this entire unfortunate series of events with a rather cruel text of your own. Then you failed to pay your share of the final bills. Mr. Carter's counterclaim seems perfectly reasonable. My ruling is for the defendant on the original claim and for the plaintiff on the counterclaim. Ms. Benson, you will pay Mr. Carter $650 plus his $50 filing fee. Judgment is entered for $700. Next case. It was over in less than 15 minutes. Ashley's father shot me a look of pure fury, wrote me a check on the spot, and practically dragged a sobbing Ashley out of the courtroom. But the story doesn't quite end there. The final nail in the coffin was an email from my former landlord a week later. He was asking about some significant damage to the apartment's hardwood floors that Ashley had reported. Apparently, in a last-ditch effort to screw me over, she'd tried to get my security deposit withheld. I replied with the time-stamped video I took of the entire apartment after she moved out, which clearly showed the floors in perfect condition. I got my full deposit back the next day. The landlord even apologized. The aftermath has been a lesson in consequences. Ashley had to pay the judgment. The mutual friends who didn't see the light after my screenshot certainly did, after Steven regaled them with the tale of his DMs in the court case. Her reputation is in tatters. I heard she and her parents are no longer on speaking terms after her dad had to pay her debt. Do I feel remorse? Not a bit. I feel free. She wanted to play a stupid game, and she won a stupid prize. She genuinely seemed to believe that she was entitled to my friendship, my apartment, my money, and my friend, all while holding me in contempt. She thought her actions had no consequences. I didn't seek revenge. I just calmly and methodically handed her the bill for her own behavior. I'm good now. Better, actually. Steven and I are planning a weekend trip. I've redecorated the apartment. A new, much cheaper lamp sits where hers used to be. It's blue. It's my favorite color. The biggest lesson in all this? Sometimes, the most powerful response to someone trying to create chaos in your life is to refuse to participate. You just stand back, document the mess they're making, and let them trip over their own entitlement. She wanted formal and legal? She got it. Thanks for letting me vent, Reddit. It helped.